Hello viewers, welcome to CEC lectures. Myself Dr. Preeti Jagwani. I am Assistant Professor, Department of Computer Science from Aryabhat College, University of Delhi. Today's topic is subset sum problem, which is solved using dynamic programming approach. So understanding the problem first, what actually a subset sum problem is. So we have given let us say a subset A of positive integers, and the total number of positive integers into that subset is A, and we have been given a particular sum. We need to find out that whether or not there exists any subset of the given set, the sum of whose elements is equals to the given value of sum. So basically we will take that value sum and we will be looking all those subsets which whose numbers will give me the value of sum on addition. Let us understand this with the help of some examples. So we have been given some set of positive numbers, for example 2, 9, 10, 99 and 3. This is the kind of set A, and we need to find if there is a subset for a given sum, let us say 4. So yes, we can say we have a subset of the given set which is 1 and 3, and that subset is giving me the value 4. So we can say yes, that subset is available. Then for let us say another value with the same with the same set of positive numbers, we are looking for a subset sum of let us say 5. So 5, yes, we can say we have 2 and 3 which add up to 5, and 2 and 3 are the numbers from that set of positive numbers which is given. So yes, we can say there also exists some subset for this subset sum equals to 5. Similarly for 6, we can say yes, 2, 1 and 3 is the answer subset, we can say, because their sum is equals to 6. But if we look for 7, looking at the numbers, we can always say that there is no subset which adds up to give a total of 7. So for this there is no subset where sum of elements is equals to 7. So basically we are looking for an array B which is going to be the subset of that particular given set array or given array A, where all of the elements of B must be present inside A, because we are looking for the subset. Definitely size of subset B has to be less than or equal to the parent array. In any case it is not be greater than the parent array A, because we are not it is not allowed to include elements from the outside. For example 3 to 7 1 we have taken, we are looking for some 6, then it will say output as true, because there is a subset which is 3 to 1 which is going to give the sum as 6. So we will output true. So basically in its the basic or the fundamental form, the subset sum problem is going to give you a boolean answer which says true or false. True when some subset exists for that particular sum which has been asked for, we will return true. Otherwise one false has been returned if no subset has been present inside the set parent set or inside the set A whose sum is equals to the given value. So basically if we are able to find the subset, option answer will be true. If we are not able to find that subset, the answer is going to be false. But just having the answer as true or false may not help, because we will also be interested into what elements or which are the numbers which are adding up for that particular sum. So we can calculate that also. We will be able to find that also. Now in order to solve this subset sum problem, we have basically three methods. One is the recursive method, completely based on recursion. Then we have one backtracking method. So here backtracking is basically, we can say, without memoization, where memoization is an important property of the dynamic programming thing. And another efficient approach is dynamic programming, which is, you know, obviously taking care, or which is obviously considering memoization also. So coming to the, you can say, brute force approach or naive approach to solve the subset sum problem, what could be the brute force approach to solve this subset sum? We need to go through all possible subsets. So if we look into our set theory, and we will say a number of possible subset for a particular set is going to be 2 to the power n, where n is the total number of elements. So for n elements, there can be 2 to the power n subsets. So the total complexity of our brute force approach will be n into 2 to the power n, in which we will be going through all possible subsets. So obviously n into 2 to the power n kind of complexity is very, very high, and we can easily say that this naive approach or brute force approach is going to be very, very inefficient computationally if we are going this way. So yes, obviously we need to approach a better algorithm. So we can have a better algorithm, which is again exponential, but it uses recursion. One thing which is very important here is this subset sum problem is actually a special case of 0-1 knapsack. We can say 0-1 knapsack, we add one more variable in terms of values we are talking about, but here there is kind of no value associated with a particular, no extra value associated with a particular integer except its own identity. So we generally consider this subset sum problem as a special case of 0-1 knapsack problem. Now coming to that better exponential algorithm, what are we going to do? If we see that backtracking or exponential algorithm, or we are going to look for, let's say, our dynamic programming approach, basically for every item there will be 2 possibilities. Either that item will be included into the subset, or it will not be included into the subset, depending upon whether it is going to give some value or give some advantage into the kind of your subset sum. So assuming we are including current item into the subset, and that, let's say, that is the last item. So if we are going to include the last item, if we are going to include, then after that inclusion of last item, my required sum will be target sum minus value of the last element, because last element I have already included, that means that value we have already procured. So this is the similar case when we say that we whenever we are going to include one particular item into that knapsack, so that particular capacity, which is equals to the weight of that element of knapsack, has been exhausted. So here target sum will be sum is equals to the total sum, which is target sum minus value of the last element, and number of elements which are still left for consideration is obviously less than 1 which was available earlier. So number of elements will be total elements minus 1. So this is the possibility when we are saying that we are including that current item into the subset. So we will include that current item, current in the sense we can say, if we follow a bottom up approach, we will say last item. Considering the last item, including the last item in the subset, and then we will recur for remaining items in the remaining sum, because sum also we have exhausted and one item has also been taken off. Now coming to the next possibility says we are going to exclude that item from the subset, and if we are going to exclude that item from the subset, that means this case is analogous to the case when we say that item has not been kept into the knapsack. So if item has not been kept into the knapsack, that means the capacity of knapsack is as it is intact, but we need to recur for the solution among the remaining items, because that item which we are not considering because of some reasons is now, you can say, out of the race of the items which are going to be included. So we need to recur for remaining items after inclusion of that particular item from the subset. So we can say, if we are going to leave that last item, considering last item under consideration, we will be leaving the last item, and then now required sum is equals to target sum, because we have not included anything into target sum. But number of elements under consideration which are left is going to give actually minus 1, which is, so number of elements is equals to total elements minus 1. So both the cases, whether we are considering the item or we are not considering the item, the number of elements will be 1 less the previous situation, while the sum can be target sum if we are leaving the last item, or it can be target sum minus that particular number or value of that particular number if we are considering the we can say item. So these can be two possibilities for each and every item. So in this way we can say it is for each and every item we are going to look for the same property, and when we look for the same property for every particular number or for every particular element of the problem, we can say here is a presence of optimal substructure. That means my problem is exhibiting my problem is showing optimal substructure characteristics, and definitely while exploring the solution we need to use this property, or we need to take the advantage of this property. So coming to the recurrence relation which we have just seen, we can say it is subset sum is, we have set, then we have total number n of the elements, and then we have sum. So a particular function which is named by, let's say, is subset sum has 3 parameters, one is set, another one n, and the third one as sum. Now there can be two situations, either with whether the number has been included or the current item or the number has not been included. So the answer to this thing will be an OR, which is an OR of is subset sum that particular set n minus 1, that means one number taken off and the sum as it is. So this particular kind of, I can say, expression is giving me the value when I am not considering that ith item, while if I am considering that ith item, then I will have to recur with is subset sum. The set is same, n minus 1 obviously, because one item has been already either taken into consideration, while as we have included that into the sum, now my total sum which I need to look for, which is left, will be sum minus set of n minus 1. So within this situation we have incorporated those two situations, that whether we are taking the item or we are not taking the item. Considering the base cases, I can say base cases will be with if sum is greater than 0 and n is equals to 0, we will say that is subset sum is equals to false, or is subset sum is equals to true if sum is equals to 0. So these both the cases will be considered as the base cases of that particular problem. So that means we will return true is if the subset is made by either including or excluding the current item, as we will be returning the value as false at the end. The base case of the recursion which I have described just now is actually when there are no items are left or the sum becomes negative. But again, if we look at the time complexity of this particular solution is again having the time complexity as exponential. So earlier when we were just using the recursion method, or not the recursion method, we were using brute force approach, naive approach, we were having n into 2 to the power n, which is the exponential time complexity. Here also it is coming as the exponential time complexity. So by this solution we have not we can say gained much in terms of complexity. This example we can say for let us say we have a set which is 3, 4, 5, 2 and the sum which we are looking for is 9, and the two parameters which are being passed is x, which is the left number of items which I say is items under consideration, and y is the required sum. So taking the problem as a whole, considering all the 4 items and the sum which we are looking for is 9, now there can be 2 approaches. Either we are going to include a particular item or we are not going to include that particular item. In both the cases, the item which are left under consideration will be 3. Now if we consider that item, and let us say that item is the first item which is having value as 3, so we will be saying 9 minus 3, which is 6. If we take that first element, out of our sum of 9 we have achieved a sum of 3. And let us say we are not considering that 3, the second option says the items which are left under consideration are 3, which are 4, 5 and 2, but sum which is to be achieved yet is still 9. So the left side says we are taking that item into consideration, the right side says we are not taking the item into consideration. Similarly, 3, 6 will be again taken in the form of 2, 2 and 2, 6. So 2, 2 says the items which are the numbers which are left are 2, and the sum here is obviously which is left is 2, because 3 and then again the next item 4 we have considered. So 3 plus 4 is 7. So 7 is actually here it gives 9 minus 7 is 2. So we are left with the sum as which is to be achieved yet is 2, and the number of leftover items is 2. And let us say if we are not considering that particular item 4, we are still left with 2 numbers which is 5 and 2, but the sum which we are looking for is 6 still. So here in this way again our 2, 2 will give you in the next kind of we can say recursion, it is going to give us the value of 1, minus 3. So your sum has become negative here. Then the second branch is going to give us 1, 2. So whenever my sum is becoming negative, I will return false here. So 1, minus 3 can be again approached in the form of 0, 0 if we are considering the item. If we are not considering the last item, it can be approached in the form of 0, 2. So if set that particular 0, 2 is feasible, that means the number of items. Now let us consider this tree from the bottommost node, which is we can say a leaf here. So 0, 2 means 0 items left for consideration, and the weight we need to achieve is 2. So with 0 items we cannot achieve weight as 2, so it is false. but yes, with 0 items we can achieve weight as 0, so we can give true. Coming to the level above, we can say 1 comma minus 3, the sum is negative, so therefore this is not possible, we will give this as false. And coming to 1 comma 2, with one item left, can we achieve the sum as 2? Yes, the last item is 2 itself, so with that particular item we can achieve sum of 2 with only one item, so that is true. In this similar manner, we will keep on taking a bottom up approach with filling these Boolean values, and this particular kind of tree can also be achieved if we use work under the dynamic programming approach. So in this dynamic programming approach, what are we going to do? We are going to create a 2D array of size, which is array size plus 1. So the number of rows will be array size of the array plus 1, and the number of columns will be the total target, let us say 6 or 7 or 9, whatever it is, plus 1. And this 2D array will be of the type Boolean, because I have already told you that in the most basic version we are just looking for an answer as yes or no, that whether this subset sum is possible, true; if it is not possible, false. And every cell in that particular in that particular table, which is dp of, let us say, I comma j, will be true. The cell will contain true if there exists a subset of elements from a is equals to 0 to I with some value j. So that particular cell will contain true if there exists a subset of elements with some value j and elements from a elements of a from 0 to I. So we will be filling this Boolean subset in a bottom up manner, as we have shown with the example of that particular tree, and this denotes if there is a subset of some j with the elements as index I minus 1 as the last element. We can say it in this form also. So coming to the answer, where we are going to find the answer, whether this subset sum is possible, yes or no. So this we will be getting in the last cell. So last cell of our table will be having the index length of array comma sum, and if that is having true, that means the subset sum is possible, else the subset sum is not possible. So primarily what are we going to do? We will create a Boolean subset, fill it up in the bottom up manner, where each value of the cell will be true if there is a subset of set 0 to j minus 1 with sum equal 0 to I minus 1 with sum equals to j, otherwise false, and we will be returning that subset and something, so that the last cell in the array or of that particular subset is going to give us the Boolean value saying that whether this situation is possible or not. So let us quickly have a let us quickly take a look at the example where we have a set 3 4 5 2 and the target is 6. So we have constructed a Boolean array whose number of columns is total 7, which is starting from 0 to 6. As I have already told you, this will be target plus 1, and the number of rows will be n plus 1, where n is the number of elements in the set. So we have taken 0, 3, 4, 5 and 2, and whether the subset sum of j is possible with the last index I minus 1. If yes, it is possible, then we will fill true. If it is not possible, we will fill false, and this whole table has been filled in a bottom up fashion. And then finally we will say that whether there is a possibility of having some such subset, yes or no. but when we encounter DP, we say that this is having the same asymptotic run time. But if we adopt the approach of memoization, which is reusing the already computed sub solutions, yes, we will be simply we will make our approach simple with dynamic programming, and we can say instead of having exponential runtime, we will end up with having, we can say, a pseudo polynomial runtime, because our recursion overhead is saved by the process of memoization. And then in this case, if we actually want to see what are the elements which are going to give me that particular subset, then again we need to backtrack the whole table in order to get the what numbers are coming up into that subset. So for the first run, we can say, or for the initial run, we will be having values true or false, and for the next situation, if we actually want to see whether which are the elements through which this subset sum is possible, we need to again kind of, we can say, track our table once more with a different kind of bit different strategy. So here we have seen, in this lecture we have seen what actually the subset sum problem is, why it is known as kind of a special case of knapsack problem, and we have seen we can say a broad level strategy of solving this subset sum problem using our dynamic programming approach. Thank you for the patient hearing.